Hello, I am Simulator Dirk, and welcome back to Train Sim World. We're at Gravesend, and due to an issue at Faversham, there are some delays. You'll be taking a service to Rainham, wait for the train to arrive. Snowy conditions, so this is going to be interesting. I don't know where we're going to stop and when, or how long we have to wait for the train to arrive. I presume we're waiting at the right spot. There is a box that you can tick that says I would like some real life ads, and that is one of them by Calvin Klein. So we need to wait for the train to arrive, and the train is arriving now. They've just switched to white lights, and you can hear the UFO sound. So it looks like they haven't got us standing on the right spot, so we'll have to go down to the car marker. So we're going to Gravesend. I was waiting for the simulated other driver to come out, but nonetheless, here we are. Alright, sit in the seat. At least it's daytime this time, so we can actually see. So have I totally confused it by... Oh, are you kidding me? I've confused it by going directly into the driver's cab, so I've got to go back to the marker, do I? I went past the marker already. You're kidding me. As soon as I saw the train coming in, I went. So really painting by numbers. Oh, I've got to go this way because of course you do. Because Train Sim World. Because of course you do. Just Train Sim World things. So we'll close the doors. At least this time we know the passenger lights are on. Unlike the last episode. Come on, door. 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 Close. Come on. Oh, does it want me to sit down and then... Alright, let's close the doors. Or we can do it this way. Reverse it in forward. Apply some power. Let's get moving. Is it not going to let me go forward because I've got the cab door open? Let's have a look. It's annoying. Especially considering I said for it to close several times and it didn't. Alright. Now let's go. So, disclaimer, I've never driven a train in real life in snow. So, I don't know how slippery it would be or otherwise. Occasionally, I'll be giving you an outside view. As we can see the UFO sound effects continuing. Yeah, that's probably more like it. So we've got our... Just trying to adjust the... Trying to adjust the screen so I can give you a decent shot of the train while doing what I should be doing. So the snow's being kicked up from the ground. You can actually see snowflakes and flurries. Oh well, we're doing basically track speed, which is okay. So at least we get to see a train in the other direction, which is the same that we're on. We haven't seen that yet. Just a little bit of brake. We'll get the windscreen wiper out there and we'll put it on interval. So even though there's snow out there, at least we can see a little bit of where we're going, unlike the last episode that was done at night. Now I dare say that the train safety systems, including AWS, haven't been turned on, and that's an annoying thing about, in this scenario, you've relieved the driver, so therefore in real life, in 99.99% of the situations, the various driver safety systems would be kicked in and would be turned on, more to the point. But that's not the case here, because we're coming up to a green signal and we should get the little chime about now to say that the signal's clear. We don't. One thing that probably mentally screwed me up a little bit is that on the last episode I didn't actually drive a train anywhere, but that was because I was showing off different paint schemes and that sort of stuff, and that's fine. But prior to that, in Train Simulator World, on my I Choose You playlist, what had actually happened is that I've been playing JR East Train Simulator, which is totally different. Yeah, it's totally different because it actually uses real life video rather than simulated video. The only thing that's really simulated on those particular scenes of the simulator are the signal aspects, but it's photorealistic on that particular simulator. So it sort of, I think, got me a little bit. It's been even some weeks since I've used that, but so a combination of new train, not knowing where I am, not being able to see because it's dark, and using a totally different type of simulator with a totally different view in a totally different country, or different simulated country. I went alright, getting used to the train. I'm using a system of measurement that I'm not really familiar with. In this sort of situation in real life, we could expect a lot of wheel slide, I'm guessing. We're probably coming in too hot, although the brakes are good. So we'll just come in and crawl in. Sometimes the markers that it's suggesting where I stop and where things are being measured point-wise don't necessarily match up with the actual car markers on the platform. So we're only 92 seconds late, which, especially under the weather conditions, isn't that bad. Weather conditions like this would be considered degraded mode. So anything in degraded mode, as far as I'm concerned, timetable to a degree goes out the window. Safety first of loading and unloading the passengers, etc. Another way that I can tell that the AWS isn't operating is that the sunflower isn't showing on the ECTS screen. I've just switched it over during that station stop for a single screen, so we can hear the familiar sound of the what I and others have called the UFO as the train leaves the station. Oh, another train coming in the opposite direction. Really interfered with my camera angle there. Now, some people who know the track a lot better than me could possibly get away with not having the on-screen display or the actual HUD on screen. So I'm already in max power. I'm doing about 50 miles an hour at the moment. Speed limit 70. Max power is the one you want to touch. And one of the reasons that I selected this one is because we're not stopping all stations. Having said that, I don't know the stations well enough to know which stations I'm actually skipping. And going back to JRE Simulator again, one of the key differences with that one is, yes, I'm in England now and I speak English, and I am fairly familiar with the English system and played a lot more train simulator titles on the English system compared to the Japanese system. The Japanese system on JR East, which is also available on the I Choose You playlist for all my train simulator titles, is that a lot of the things are only in Japanese, so you have to figure it out yourself, although they have done a lot of effort to translate things into English for people who aren't Japanese, so you can still use it even though you're not necessarily Japanese. The images, as I said before, are photorealistic and would be those that are actually used by actual Japanese train drivers. So we're about 600 yards away from the station, and I don't necessarily understand yards like I understand metres and kilometres, but we're coming into Strood now, and we're on a high speed board, and we're in full service because I braked too late, and we're coming in way too hot. We are slowing down nicely though, which shows again the how effective these brakes are. And that absolutely rescued me from an awful stop and going out the other, and also going out the other end, with these conditions or not. Now, I don't know these conditions in real life, so I wouldn't be able to tell you if I would be wheel sliding them with these more modern electric trains with their wheel slide or wheel slip detection. I don't know how they would go in these conditions for real anyway. Would it automatically adjust them? Would it be sweet, or would it not be sweet? Then again, that's the thing that you can so it's only high speed out of Strood. So yep, the UFO's on, so we can tell that straight away, and then if we shut off like we had up here, you can really tell from outside the cab. if you're powering or not. So I'll shut off again. UFO noise will go away there. But once we're in the cab, so we're back in the cab, and powering, we can't really hear. This is how good the modern cabs are. Can't really hear. The main thing I can hear at the moment is the wiper. That's the main thing I can hear, the wiper, rather than the UFO noise when I'm powering or when I'm in regenerative brake. Now, is this the station coming up that was closed, and there's the old station and then there's a new station? I seem to remember that, something like that, from networks, or from Southeastern High Speed, which is what this route is. So we do have some signals against us coming up here. So, especially in these speed conditions, we'll just come in nice and slowly. By the way, you can turn the HUD off, the heads-up display off, which is exactly what HUD stands for. I was thinking of the on-screen display, not necessarily the HUD. You can turn all that off. Now, of course, I need F1 on, so I know where the cursor effectively is. Now, the signal has changed. I haven't been able to get the door display to work yet. I purposely haven't watched many videos, and I tend not to do that. To see how this particular train drives or anything like that. I have driven the 700 class in Train Sim Classic. We're only on a slow boardie. Yeah, now we're off. Chatham next. It's only around the corner. It's not that far. Oh, I think this is the. I don't know. Yeah, I think that's the original. So we go into this little tunnel here. Now, of course, if you're in a tunnel like we are now, and we're deep into the tunnel, we're not just at the start of it, there's no way that the snow would be coming at us in flurries like it is now if we're in a tunnel. Unless you're looking at the HUD and looking at the speed, sometimes you've got no idea what brake notch you're actually in or what power notch you're actually in. So we're only about a minute and a bit behind the table, which again, in these circumstances, isn't bad. So that's basically the car marker for everything, even though there is a car marker and screens further down. I still haven't seen any javelins yet, and haven't seen any 465s yet in this episode. In the last episode, we saw a couple. This will probably be a better screen cap. We saw a couple in the previous episode, the 465. So we're gonna wait until 12:28:30 before we can close the door. So we've actually caught up. This is one of these stations that you can catch some time up. I'm actually trying to think what stations we've actually missed. It says we're not going to stop at all stations, but we've pretty much stopped everywhere at this point, with the station, with the exception of the station that I think's abandoned. So I'll wait till 28:30. Lock the doors now. So we're in the Cheltenham Tunnel. Oh, what have we got coming here? We've got a 66 class. We saw a few freighters on the last episode. The 66 class and associated freight wagons were actually in Southeastern High Speed when it was released. This particular train wasn't. This particular train was a DLC that was added later. So, nice, subtle movements. We're 1 mile out from Gillingham now. We'll have a look for snow falling through the tunnel roof when we come in. Yeah, so at this point, snow shouldn't be coming in like this. It's a long tunnel. Snow shouldn't be basically falling through the roof. On the way in and on the way out, you can understand if you're close to the entrance or the exit, and or there's a bit of, possibly sometimes, some snow coming off the overhead wiring maybe, or whatnot. A little bit of moisture coming from the roof of the tunnel, but not some snow flurries like that. Right, we need to start braking for Gillingham now. Which is coming up nicely. Starting to, I can hear a little bit more train noise now. Not the really obvious, and we'll listen out for it when we depart. The really obvious UFO sound effect. That's going to be a nice little stop, and not here for a super amount of time in theory. A little bit of train noise in the background, but not. So they'll make us wait until 12:30 to 30, which will mean that we'll leave here exactly when it says. Now, realistically, the windscreen heater's not going to do anything, and you can't do anything anyway. I still want to use this door screen, which doesn't look like you can. There's a snow brake mode. Oh, and it says that it's already on. I wouldn't know the difference, honestly, at this point. Raynham, I think, was our next and last location, and that's almost 3 miles away. Now, we diverted here on the last episode, and we parked the train, and we were supposed to go back. But I wouldn't say I was being a princess. Oh, that level crossing coming up. Well, we sort of went through it. That didn't look very good. Didn't look as good as I thought it was going to. So the Gillingham siding's on the right hand side there. So we're coming up to our 60 mile an hour limit, so we'll just shut off and hear the click, the very definite click that you hear for being in the off position. See some yellow in my future here, so we'll start to brake. Double yellow here. Can often occur if you're approaching a terminating location. We're still 1.3 miles away. Got a single yellow coming up here. And so that means our next one should be red. Should be red. So we'll slow right down. Timetable certainly goes out the window when you're coming up to red signals. So we'll just crawl in. Nothing worse than speeding into a signal that you know that it's at stop, or it should be at stop by the time you get there. You go screaming in, going in really fast, braking really hard, stopping, and then the signal changes. Whereas we're going a bit slower, we may not have to stop at this signal by the time we get to it. I can see it's up there just past the bridge, and I know that it's at stop at the moment, so I'm just going to crawl in. I don't know if it, because you can see it from a distance, it's not that far on the other side of that bridge that's coming up to us here. And as I've mentioned before, in real life you'd have your own set of braking markers, or the braking markers you were taught to say, well, okay. And this could be very much, well, a normal signal that you have to be at stop at anyway. especially if you're arriving at a terminating location where you could get switched over. You know, and in these weather conditions. Okay, it has changed it. It's now a yellow, and I can see a route indicator. So that changed on our approach, which can often happen, especially if we're taking an alternate route, which is what we're doing now. All right, 25 mile an hour center points. Station coming up, station visible. And we're about to go over again, so we'll be going onto the back platform. Nice and slowly in. We'll be pretty much on time by the time we pull up to the 8-car marker. Oh, there's a platform 0, rightio. That would explain the O that I saw on the route indicator of the signal back there. So we're pretty much on time. Oh, there's another train. Let's shut down this cab and change ends. Rightio. So change our marker lights to tail lights. We'll go into full service. Reverser into neutral. Key out. Marker lights and due out at 41 to go back. Okay, so our lights are good. Oh, I've left the windscreen wipers on. That wouldn't be the first time, maybe the last time. So we'll turn them off. There's no need for them to be on. Windscreen wipers. Windshield wipers off. Now, of course, realistically, I am probably going to go through in these conditions into the through the train. Oh, we got a. So this will be the class 387. Another UFO arriving. Oh, it's going to Ebbs Fleet International, okay. our time to depart a little bit here. Alright, let's go down. So we're not that late anyway. The other UFO is leaving, but the funny thing is it's just going down there just to wait at that signal because we have to depart first. So master key on, reverse it to forward, exterior lights to day, close the doors. So I don't see. You can now begin the service to Dartford. Alright. So I can't see the point of that train moving, knowing that we're here, knowing that that signal wasn't clear for that train on platform 1. I don't see the point in moving up to that signal until we go. I seriously don't. As this weather or not, I don't see the point in advancing to that signal when you've got a platform that you can just stay at. Yes, we were going, and the driver could probably see that I was walking down. Alright, 90 miles an hour. I haven't turned my wipers on yet. I wonder if we're going to skip any stations, or the fact that we terminated there at Raynham is other stations that we skipped and we're still stopping all stations anyway. So 1.3 miles to go before Gillingham. We've got the yard coming up, which in reality is probably a good shut-off point. We're a 60-mile forward, 9 mile over. I wasn't paying attention to that. There's the train wash. Level crossing coming up. Totally in the wrong position for the level crossing, I think. And again, well, that's not a bad view. Back of the cab. Braked well. Whoops. Braked well because I knew that I was going to try and see the train go over the level crossing. To talk about JR East again, on that simulator, you cannot leave the cab. It is a 100% first person out the front window. Alright. So it doesn't seem to take into account, that's not bad. Doesn't take into account how late you're running. I'm running 3 minutes late. Alright, here we go. Chatham next in 1.4 miles. Now, in snowy conditions, I don't know if these things are meant to just go straight into max power, sing the max power song, and also sing the Mr. Plough song at the same time. So, go through the tunnel. We'll get snowed upon even though we're in the tunnel. We should be doing 60. We're not. We should be doing 50. We're doing 67. Although we're going to brake for the station anyway, which is what we're doing. And there's a 30, so we should be going even slower. Through the tunnel, we're bringing speed down. Station's just there. 387 in there, really ugly front. I get why they do it, but man, does he look ugly. Especially in the modern day where you can walk through the whole train and passengers, locking the doors. Alright, let's go. 0.9 of a mile. Whoops, bump my controller. Should only be doing 30 miles an hour. Tunnel. That's an interesting looking route indicator. How many routes are on that indicator? Yeah, this is the old station. And just around the corner is a new one. Overall, we haven't done too bad, considering this is the first time driving these in the daylight, in snow. Third time driving them at all in Train Sim World. But as I've said before, with these more modern trains, if you can drive one, you can and you pretty much know, if you know where you're going, it's even better. But if you can drive one, you can pretty much drive any of them, because they're very similar, similarly set out, and they perform, even though they might be from different manufacturers, they're fairly similar. Now, I did mention in the last episode, and I'll mention it here again, the RUL8 tells me that there's 8 carriages on the train, and RLU stands for restricted length unit, whereas the full size unit is 12 carriages. So there's actually different car markers if I'm driving one of these or a 12 car unit. Now by default they are 8 car units in Train Sim World. So I haven't seen any stations that I'm actually not stopping at yet. So much for picking a scenario where I won't actually be, where I'll be skipping some stations. So through the route indicator. We should hit those points doing 20. So route change. So a couple of different routes for us there. Here comes Strood. Such a long train, not because of our train, but because of other trains that run on this line. So apart from being dark and foggy, this would be still pretty bad conditions to safely see people on and off the train. It's a very curved platform, it's snowy. People could be hard to see depending on what they're wearing. They could blend in with the background partly as well. So we're at Strood, we're a couple minutes late. Slow speed out of here. So if we look outside, there's probably hardly anybody getting on. Very snowy conditions. Alright, let's get back on. We should be time to close our doors now. Load passengers, lock doors. And off we go. I forgot we're a low speed departure from Strood. So more tunnels, more light from the train seemingly going on the tunnel walls than down the track. We are running our daylights. Actually not getting snowed on in this tunnel. This tunnel seems to have gone on forever. We're a mile and a half from our next station. Not far to go, so we basically exit the tunnel and pretty much straight onto the station. So there's the station just after exiting. Full service, so we're going to continue to slide. Oh, there's the London Overground Pretend 465. Oh, it's attached to a Southwestern. Oh no, that is a. No, that is a. Oh, I went into emergency. Due to delays, you'll be driving straight to Dartford from Gravesend. Alright. Sound the horn as you pass stations to alert passengers. So I'm presuming Gravesend is next. Oh, it still wants us to unlock the doors. Alright, Gravesend is next in 4.5 miles. 70 miles an hour. We got up to 60. There's a freight yard. I can remember shunting in there with the 66 class. So we are coming up to a section where we don't have to stop at any stations. That's awesome. Ah, 70, not 75. There we go. We'll just shut off, which will help. Have to get ready to start braking. So we'll just put a little bit of brake on, just to push some of that speed out. Of course, if ETCS was actually operational, I would have heard about it before I hit 75. I don't know what their tolerance is for overspeed. Don't depart, not due to depart Gravesend until 07. There's a number 700 class. Now interestingly, I did do a few 700 classes in an alternative livery that we saw in the last episode. I haven't seen any of those running around yet, but I have seen some of the altered 465s. Okay, just on a mile now. Speed changes to 50. Is changed to 50. Bring it down. I'm certainly enjoying this a lot better than I did the one on the previous episode. We're coming into yards now. Yards as in distance, not yards as in location. Did we not start at Gravesend before? I think we did. Must be lower speed into Gravesend. Yeah, this is where we started. So we load till 13:07:30, and then I think we're next to final stop from memory to Dartford. All right, up the doors. Dartford next. That's 13:16. We're 6 miles away. Power up and let's begin. You're doing 30. Now we can do 70. Right, here's a station that we... Oh no, it's not. There's a station we don't have to stop at. I was so annoyed by the task in the last episode. We're going to run a testing train. Okay, cool. Thinking, oh yeah, that's something you normally don't get to do in these sort of scenarios. So let's run a testing train. You know, testing train before the train goes in service. Okay. But we're going to stop the train at all stations anyway and pick up passengers. That's not testing. Here's another one. Funny, back to JR East again. If you don't, depending on the system, depending on the train, if you're coming up to a train station or a railway station that you have to stop at, it'll make a certain noise, and the lady sometimes will yell at you in Japanese, which of course I don't speak Japanese, so I don't know what she's yelling at me for, but after a while I can figure it out. I'm coming into the station too fast, and then coming into a station that you're not supposed to stop at, you hear a different voice, presumably reminding you that you don't actually stop there, which is quite cool. And you get to hear announcements. They're not the actual announcements that you'll hear on the trains, because they couldn't get those for rights holder reasons, even though it's an official collaboration between another company and JR East. But they have various actual conductors making the announcements. So that's quite cool. So there's our hybrid train, including a fake London Overground unit at the back. We've got a bit of time. We've got at 1.9 kilometres before the station. We'll do a bit of an outside run. Okay. 1.4 miles. Oh, we've got a caution signal coming up. Or a double yellow in this case. It just looked like a single caution from back there. So I'm glad I did my little look outside when I did. We'll probably switch over tracks. I didn't turn the AWS on. One of the things I hate about Train Sim World is that the train should be perfectly set up for you when you're relieving another driver, and you think that would include all your things like your AWS, etc. But nope. You know, all the marker lights aren't on. They're setting correctly. So got a low speed, a lower speed of 40 than 20 before the station. I presume this is we're going to be crossing over soon. Just come in nice and slowly. Got the route indicator for platform number 2. So maybe this next set. This looks like it's set for us. Coming in nice and slowly. We're pretty much on time, partly due to the fact that we're able to skip some stations. I don't know if that time, the 13:16, has been adjusted for that, or if that's the time it would normally arrive here anyway. Unlock the doors. Well done. Let's see how you did. And here we are. We have arrived. Can we go outside quickly? Yes, we can. Gold star. Complete your first scenario on expert mode. I didn't even know I was on expert mode. Anywho, I've been Simulated Oak. You've been wonderful. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.